Hello everyone, in this video we are going to discuss a question on total provisions and design procedure of the lacing. Okay, see this question on lacing system. Once I read out this question and see, take this question either by a screenshot or taking on paper and keep with you. Okay, it means write down this question either on paper or take a screenshot of this question and keep this with you when we are discussing the solution. Why? Because for discussing the solution, I'm going to arise the total question on the board and we'll start the solution or we'll start the answering this question or so discussing the solution to this question. So better take the screenshot or you can say write this question on a paper and keep this with you when we are discussing the solution to this question. Clear everyone? Once go through this, I'll read out this question. A laced column consisting of two ISMC 300 channels. So now here lacing is done by making use of two ISMC 300 channels placed back to back. Okay, placed back to back and is subjected to a factored axial load of how much? 100 kilonewton. 100 kilonewton. The 10 meter, so length here is 10 meter long column is restrained in translation but not in rotation at ends. Means at both ends. Okay, at both ends that laced column is restrained in translation but not in rotation. Means it is hinged. So column is hinged like this. Okay, column is hinged like this. Both ends of the column are hinged. Okay, both ends of the column are hinged. Therefore, effective length KL is equal to simply L. Is that okay? Is that clear? So for that column. Next, single lacing at 45. Okay, single lacing at 45 degrees provided. So single lacing at 45 degree is provided and connected to a flange with 16 meter dia. Sorry, 16 mm dia bolts with a gauge length of 50 mm. Okay, with a gauge length of 50 mm. Now what is asking? Verify the capacity of the selected section and determine their spacing. So this was the question. So verify the capacity of the selected section and determine their spacing, and these were the informations given. So that is why I said in the beginning. So please take this question either by screenshot or noting down on the paper and keep it aside when we are discussing the question. Okay, so these were the given. Yield strength is 250 MPa and table 9C. So some values of some values in table 9C of IS 800/2007 were mentioned. So those values are slenderness ratio and FCD, design compressive strength. These were the values, and the properties of ISMC were also mentioned. That is gross area, width of the flange, thickness of the flange, and thickness of the web, and CG. Okay, CG of the channel, and moment of inertia about x-axis and y-y axis, and radius of gyration about x-axis and y-y axis. Is that okay? This is the question. First you take it. Please take this question and we'll after that I'll rub this question and we'll see the solution to it. Okay. So I'm going to rub this question for the discussion of the solution. So first step here is finding out the effective length. As the column ends are hinged or you can say pinned, therefore effective length comes out to be simply L, which was mentioned in the question as 10 meter. Therefore it is 10,000 mm. Is that okay? If it is a individual column or you can say without lacing or battening, then effective length is this one. How much? 10,000 mm. But here the column is laced. Therefore, effective length for lacing is, here I will write like this. Effective length is to be increased by 5%. Means this value should be multiplied by 1.05. How much it is? 10500 mm. So effective length of that laced column or a built up laced column is 10500 mm. So this is the first step in the solution. Next, R minimum. Okay, minimum radius of gyration of the whole column. Okay, minimum radius of gyration of the whole column. Here also I will write effective length of the whole column or laced column and minimum radius of gyration. So what is the main purpose of lacing? Increasing the minimum radius of gyration. Okay, increasing the minimum radius of gyration and making it equal to the maximum radius of gyration or more than it. Therefore, minimum radius of gyration is nothing but radius of gyration of the individual channel along major axis. That is how much? 118 mm. So for whole column or built up column, so WC means whole column. So for whole column or built up column, the minimum radius of gyration is not 26 mm. It should be 118 mm. Is that clear? It should be 118 mm. It is not 26 mm. So now this is minimum radius of gyration. Now by using those two values, find the slenderness ratio of the whole column. So what is the slenderness ratio of the whole column? KL by R for whole column. How much it is? 10500 by 118. Clear? So simplify it and tell me the slenderness ratio. It is 88.98. It is 88.98. 88.98 slenderness ratio. Is that clear? Now what were the values? Okay, what were the values that were mentioned in this question related to the slenderness ratio and FCD? So that is also in the question. So here I will take only the related. Okay, here I take only the required values. That is 80 and 90. So for slenderness ratio 80, what is the FCD? 136. And for slenderness ratio 90, what is again FCD? 121. Now here we want FCD for slenderness ratio 88.98. So this is unknown to us. Clear? This is unknown to us. So for this we are going to make use of linear interpolation. Okay, for this we are going to make use of linear interpolation. So directly I will write FCD is equal to, okay, FCD is equal to 136 minus 121 into 88.98 minus 90 by 80 minus 90. Okay, 80 minus 90 plus 121 plus 121. Is that clear? So upon the simplifying this or upon calculating this, we are going to get FCD as 122.53 MPa. So this is the design compressive strength for these built-up columns. Okay, this is the design compressive strength, or you can say design compressive stress. Okay, design compressive stress for the laced built-up column. How much? 122.53. Clear? 122.53. Now based on this FCD, we can calculate design compressive strength. Okay, we can calculate design compressive strength. What is the formula for design compressive strength? Formula for design compressive strength, PD is equal to AE into FCD. So just now we have calculated FCD. Now AE is nothing but, here we are making use of two channels. So AE is nothing but twice the gross area of individual channel. And FCD is how much? 122.53. Now we have 2 into 4630, right? So this is the gross area for individual channel into 122.53. Okay, into 122.53. Upon simplifying this, okay, we'll get this as 1135 kilonewton. So this 1135 kilonewton is the design compressive strength of that built-up column. Okay, built-up column is made by using lacing system. Is that okay? Which is greater than axial factor load, that is 1000 kilonewton. So therefore it is safe. Okay, is that clear? So this is the one part of the question. Now again is asking us the what you can say spacing. So again is asking us to find the spacing between those two channels. So for that we require the diagrammatic representation, that is cross-sectional representation and longitudinal representation. So first you take it down, later we'll see the spacing. So how much spacing is required for effective functioning of the lacing system used for building a column. Clear everyone? So first you take it down. Second one, spacing of channels. Spacing of channels. As I said, for this we require the diagrammatic representation of those channels. So this is one channel. Basically here the channels are placed back to back. Okay, so this is one channel and this is another channel. Okay, this is one channel and this is another channel, and these two channels are connected by making use of lacing system. So these are the lacing. Okay, these were the lacing. Is that clear? So this is the cross-sectional view of that two channels used for built-up column. Okay, two channels used as a built-up column placed back to back. Now here, this is the spacing, right? This is the spacing. Let us represent that spacing with X. Clear? Now here where CG of the individual channel lies. Here also the CG of the individual channel lies. Now if you show the axis for the whole column, so XX axis for whole column is same as that of individual channel. And this is the YY, right? This is the YY. Clear everyone? But YY is a different. Okay, for YY is a different. So for individual channel, this is YY. For individual channel, this is YY. And for built-up column, this is YY. Is that okay? This distance is nothing but CY. Mention in the question again. So here also this distance. This distance is CY. Is that okay? Now, this distance is considered as the gauge length. Mention in the question. How much it is? 50. So gauge length G. Is that okay? So these are the cross-sectional details or cross-sectional diagram. Okay, cross-sectional diagram. So what is the prime condition? Okay, what is the prime condition for carrying out the built-up column? So there exist two conditions. One is to increase the area and another is to make the minimum radius of gyration, or you can say to make the minimum moment of inertia equal or greater than maximum moment of inertia. Is that clear? If you make that condition or if you ensure that condition, obviously radius of gyration along minimum, okay, radius of gyration along minor axis or minimum radius of gyration is also comes out to be greater than or equal to maximum radius of gyration. So condition here, let me write the condition. So 2Ixx, wait. Ixx of a whole column or built-up column is less than or equal to, or you can say equal to Iyy of a whole column. So W means whole column or built-up column. Is that okay? Now, XX axis is same for both the channels. Therefore, Ixx of whole column is simply twice the Ixx of individual column. Is that okay? Equate. So it should be greater or it should be greater or equal. So let us take equal to. So equal to Iyy of whole column. So Iyy of whole column is nothing but 2 into, okay. So first write the moment of inertia for individual channel, okay, individual component, okay, individual component or individual channel of a built-up column, that is Iyy plus distance between these two CGs. So this is the CG for whole column and this is the CG for individual channel or component, okay, individual channel or component of this built-up column. Clear? Now how much this distance? So this is the distance. Clear? So this distance is nothing but half of the x plus cy. Is that okay, everyone? So x by 2 plus cy. Clear? It means ag into, let us take it as alpha. Okay, let us take it as alpha. So basically here we have used parallel axis theorem. Okay, here for finding out the moment of inertia for built up column or whole column along y axis, here we have used parallel axis theorem. Okay, parallel axis theorem. So alpha is nothing but here I will write alpha. So alpha is nothing but in this case x by 2 plus cy, that is considered as alpha. Okay, x by 2 plus cy, that is considered as alpha. Clear, everyone? Now Ixx is known to us, given in the question. Iyy is also known to us, given in the question. And Ag also known to us, again given in the question information. And coming to the alpha, x is unknown but cy is known. So in this equation only unknown is x. So we can find we are having one equation and one unknown. So we can find the x value. So that x value is nothing but the spacing of the channels. Is that okay? That is what is asking. So how to find the x? Find the values. So value of Ixx. How much the value of Ixx mentioned in the question? Value of Ixx is 6420 into 10 to the power 4 is equal to 2 into Iyy. What is the value of Iyy? 313 into 10 to the power 4 plus Ag. That is 4630, right? 4630 into alpha. So x by 2 plus 23.5 whole square. This is the equation. Okay, this is the equation. As I said, by solving this equation, we'll get the value of x. Directly I'll write the value of x. X comes out to be 182 point, how much? 182.66. So x value comes out to be 182.66 mm. So approximately take it as 183 mm. So if you take, or if you provide these two channels at a spacing of 183 mm, this condition is going to be satisfied. So this is what the asked things in this question. But for the same question, let us design lacing system also. So designing lacing system means finding out the spacing between the lacing members and the dimension, that is width of that lacing flat and thickness of the lacing flat and length, effective length. Is that okay? And later we'll see force coming onto that lacing system and force in the individual lacing also. Okay. So this, with this the question is completed. But as we are discussing, okay, as we are discussing this question in the lacing system, so we need to design the lacing also, so that we will understand all the concepts and all the provisions related to the lacing system discussed in our conceptual part. So because of that reason, I am continuing this question for designing the lacing. Okay, for designing the lacing for the given column. Is that okay? First you take down, later we'll see design of lacing for the very same column. Design of lacing. For this we require longitudinal view. Okay. So two flanges we can show in longitudinal view. So these are the two flanges of a channel. So at the ends, we provide end battens. Okay, to prevent the distortion of the column at the ends, we provide battens. So these two members in the lacing system are designed as a battens only. Okay, why? Because they are straight, or you can say horizontal. And in between we provide our lacing system. Is that okay? And these lacings are provided at an angle of 45 degree and single lacing. That was clearly mentioned in the question. So single lacing with an angle of 45 degree. Is that okay? Now this is considered as a spacing of the lacing, right? Spacing of the lacing. We represent it with C. Okay. We represent it with C. Let us represent here A, B. Okay. As we know, this is the spacing. Okay, this is the spacing X. Just now we have calculated. And this is the G. How much? 50 mm. And this is 183 mm. Just now we have calculated. And this G value was given in the question. How much? 50 mm. Is it clear, everyone? Here where the center line lies. Okay, so this is C by 2 and this is C by 2. Clear, everyone? If this is 45 degree and this is also 45 degree. This is the longitudinal view of the lacing system. Okay, this is the longitudinal view of the lacing system. First, let us try to find this C. Okay, first let us try to find this C, and later finding this C, we'll calculate the length of the lacing bar and width, thickness, and force in this lacing system, and force in individual lacing member. Okay, and flats and let us take flats are used as a lacing system. Here I will write flats are used. Okay, for lacing these two columns, we have used flats. Is that okay? So first, spacing of the lacing. So first one, spacing of the lacing. Spacing of the lacing system. Okay. To find out the spacing, here we require these dimensions. Okay, here we require these dimensions. Now, I'm going to consider one triangle here. A, B, this is C, so let us take it as D. Now we will consider triangle A, B, D. Is that okay? So this is the triangle. Okay, this is the triangle A, B, D. Clear? In triangle A, B, D, I will use tan 42. Okay, sorry, tan 45. We know that tan theta is opposite side by adjacent side. So in this triangle A, B, D, opposite side is C by 2 and adjacent side is this BD. So BD is nothing but 183 plus 50 plus 50. How much is 283? So opposite side by, what is opposite side here? AD. So AD upon BD. Clear? Now from this we can find AD. So AD is equal to, okay, AD is equal to, we know tan 45 is 1. Okay, tan 45 is 1. So AD is equal to BD. So here BD is 283 mm. We know that AD is nothing but C by 2. So C by 2 is how much? 283 mm. So from this we can find C as 566 mm. Is that clear? It is 566 mm. So that is the spacing for lacing bar. Now to check whether this spacing is adequate or not, we need to comply with one provision mentioned in the code. And of course, that provision already we have discussed. What is the provision? C by R minimum of a component or individual channel, okay, of a component should not be, okay, should not be greater than, or so it should be less than, okay, should not be greater than 50 or 0.7 slenderness ratio of whole column, right? Now slenderness ratio of whole column already we have calculated. How much it is? 88.98. So now 88.98 into 0.7, it comes out to be 0.7 into 88.98. Okay, 0.7 into 88.98, it comes out to be 62.286. Okay, 62.286. Now out of this 50 and 62.286, whichever is minimum, that should be taken. So 50 is minimum. Then this R, C by R minimum of component should be less than this 50. Okay, should be less than this 50. If this condition is satisfied, then whatever the spacing of the lacing bar we have calculated, that is 566 mm, is correct, is adequate. Is that okay? Now let us see. 566. Now here R minimum of individual. So R minimum of individual is 26. So how much it is? So 566 by 26, it comes out to be 21.77. It is less than 50. Correct. Now whatever the spacing of the lacing we have provided is adequate. That is 566 is correct. Is that okay, everyone? That is the spacing. Okay, in this way we have calculated the spacing or determined the spacing of the lacing. Now let us calculate the length. So this length is considered as a effective length. So how much it will be? Again, consider triangle ABD. Okay, consider triangle ABD, the same triangle. So in that triangle ABD, I am writing sine 45. So sine 45 is nothing but opposite side by adjacent side. So here adjacent side is the length of the lacing, right? Adjacent side itself is the length of the lacing. So opposite side is again AD. AD upon hypotenuse is AB. Implies here we require AB. So AB is equal to AD upon sine 45. So sine 45 is nothing but root 2. So AD is nothing but C by 2. C by 2 means how much it is? 283. So 283 into root 2. Clear, everyone? So by simplifying this, we will get length of the lacing bar. How much it is? 283 into root 2. So 283 into root 2, it comes out to be 400.28. Okay, 400.28. So this is the effective length. Here, let me write here. KL, effective length of the lacing. Effective length of lacing is 400.38 mm. Clear, everyone? So with this we have calculated the spacing of the lacing and effective length of the lacing. So that is 400.38. 400.38. Sorry, not 38, 28. 400.28 mm. Okay. So now we are left with the dimensions of that flats used for lacing, that is width and thickness. Of course, the length we have calculated and spacing we have calculated. Now we are left with dimension, that is width and thickness. So for that also some formulas were mentioned as the provisions in IS 800 code. So what are those? Already we have discussed, but here those are required. Now what is the formula for thickness and width of a lacing flat? That is width is equal to twice. Okay, width is equal to twice the dia of the board, and thickness is nothing but, here it is single lacing is used. So length upon 40 for single lacing and length upon 60 for double lacing. So first take it down. I'll rub it and we'll we'll find out the dimensions. Okay, we'll find out the dimensions. First you take it down. Later we'll find out the dimensions of the lacing flat. So dimensions. Okay. So width. So width of the lacing flat B is equal to approximately equal to twice the dia. That is 3 into 16. So dia of the bolt, how much given in the question? 16. So 3 into 16 it is 48. Now approximately take it as 50 mm. Okay, 50 mm. So this is the width of the lacing flat. Now coming to the thickness, it is equal to L upon 40, or you can say KL upon 40. So how much L? 400.28 upon 40. So it comes out to be 10 point. Okay, it comes out to be 10.01 mm. So these are the dimensions of the flat. Okay, these were the dimensions of the flat according to the provisions. Now provide ISF. Provide 50 ISF 12. Okay, so provide 50 ISF means Indian standard flat having width 50 mm and thickness 12 mm for making the lacing system. Okay, for making the lacing system. Now this is the lacing flat. So let me draw that. So this is the lacing flat. Okay, this is the lacing flat having width B here and thickness T. And this lacing flat is having a axis for the cross section. So this is x-axis and this is y-y axis. Is that okay? So these are the axis and this is the length KL. Okay, this is the length KL. Clear, everyone? Now let us find the slenderness ratio for this lacing flat. If the slenderness ratio provision provided in the code for this lacing flat is satisfied, then this lacing member will not buckle. Okay, it will not buckle. Now what is the slenderness ratio for lacing bar mentioned in the code? So KL upon R for lacing should not be greater than 145. Means this slenderness ratio of this lacing bar should be less than 145 only. Now KL, how much is the KL? KL is nothing but just now we have calculated, that is 400.28 mm. Now what is the R minimum? For R minimum, already we know the formula, that is T upon root 12, right? Okay, T upon root 12. How this T upon root 12? Already we have discussed in our conceptual part. Now here thickness is 12. So 12 upon root 12 is root 12. It comes out to be 3. How much? 3.464. Is that okay? 3.464. Now for the slenderness, for finding the slenderness ratio, we need to divide these two. So that is 400.28 by 3.464. So this comes out to be 115. Okay, 115.55, which is less than 145. Again, okay. Whatever the lacing flat we have provided, that lacing flat is compiling with the provision provided in the IS 800. Hence, okay, correct. Clear, everyone? So these were the dimensions and slenderness ratio for the lacing flat. Now let us see how to calculate the force. Okay, how to calculate the force in this total lacing system and force in the individual lacing bar. Okay, force in the individual lacing flat. Clear? So for that also some provisions or you can say formulas were mentioned, and those formulas already we have discussed. But here let us see what are those values. We know that lacing system is designed for 0.25% of, okay, lacing system is designed for transverse shear force. Okay, lacing system is designed for transverse shear force, which is equal to 2.5% of axial load. So here a factored axial load is how much? 1000 kilonewton. Now the force, okay, transverse shear force we represent with V. So transverse shear force in the lacing system is 2.5 into 1000 upon 100. Is that okay? Now the total force in the lacing system is 25 kilonewton. Okay, total force in the lacing system is 25 kilonewton. Now force in the individual lacing flat. Force in lacing flat. Again, the formula is known to us. So force in the lacing flat F is equal to V upon N sin theta, right? Now here V is how much? V is 25 by N is, here we have provided single lacing, means two planes of lacing are going to exist. If it is double lacing, total 4 planes. As it is single lacing, only 2 planes. And sin theta is nothing but sin 45, right? Upon simplifying, we will get force in the single lacing. So how much is the force in the single lacing? That is 17.68 kilonewton. This was the force in the single lacing. And the two lacing members are provided with inclination, and chance are there for the lacing member are subjected to tension and compression. Is that okay? If this 17.68 kilonewton is tension, then design that lacing system as a tension member. We know how to design procedure and formulas in the tension already we have discussed. So if the lacing member is subjected to the tension, then use those provisions, concepts discussed in design of tension members. If this 17.68 is compression, then again use the formula what we have discussed in design compressive strength of a column or compression member, that is PD is equal to A into FCD. Is that okay? So in that way we can design lacing system. Okay, in that way we can design lacing system and individual lacing bar. So this is all about design of lacing system for building a column. And one more thing I want to make clear it itself. So the question what we have discussed so far, such type of questions are not at all expected in GATE. But why I have discussed this? So some part in this question may be expected for 2 marks or 1 mark. It means in the question, okay, in GATE examination they may ask us to find force in the lacing system, or you can say force in the individual lacing bar, or he may ask find out the dimensions of the lacing flat. It means any part of the question what we have discussed so far is well expected in the final year GATE examination. Okay, final GATE examination. But total question is not at all expected. Means whatever we have discussed so far, that much of lengthy questions are not expected in the GATE examination. But the reason for discussing that question is in that question, okay, in the question what we have discussed so far, in that question itself we have covered all the concepts related to the lacing system. Now the very same question I am going to use, means the information, whatever the information we have used, the very same information I am going to use for explaining the batten system also. So after this we are going to start the batten question on the batten system, design of the batten system. The very same information I am going to make use. Is that okay? So take it down.